and it reminds us that all of our good deeds together combined, no matter how extensive or sincere they may be, do not benefit Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in any way. And all of our bad deeds, no matter how much they may be, do not harm Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in any way. Imagine all the people that have ever lived, are living right now, or will live from the beginning of time to the day of judgment. Only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows this number. But the point is that if every human being and if every jinn, from the beginning of time to the end of time, if all of them had the heart of the most pious man amongst them, meaning that everyone worshipped Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to the best of their ability, and everyone spent their entire life doing nothing but worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then this does not benefit Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in any way. And if all of them had the heart of the worst man amongst them, meaning nobody worshipped Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at all, and they spent their life doing bad deeds or sins or whatever, then this does not harm Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in any way. And when we realize this fact that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't gain or doesn't benefit anything from people worshipping Him, and doesn't lose anything or is not harmed by people not worshipping Him, you come to a realization of the greatness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is what we were talking about last weekend, last Saturday and Sunday after Isha. We were talking about ways that we can increase glorifying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in our hearts, or ways we can increase our understanding of the greatness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And I shared with you 7 points, and among those points I said, look at the weakness or the imperfection in the creation. Because when you see the imperfection in the creation, you are reminded that perfection is only for the Creator subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we said that everyone other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is in need of Allah. When we realize and we reflect on this fact that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not need me or you or anyone, and we see that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is alone, the self-sufficient and the praiseworthy, then we come to a realization of the greatness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ya ayyuhan nas, antumul fuqara'u ila Allah, wallahu huwal ghaniyyul hamid. O people, it is you that stand in need of Allah or are poor to Allah, and Allah alone is the self-sufficient and the praiseworthy. But someone might come and ask, Yani, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't benefit anything from me worshipping Him, then why should I worship Him? And this is a question that atheists and people that like to criticize religion, they love this question. And obviously it's a long answer and too much to be unpacked in one khatira. But what can be said quickly is that the only person that benefits from you worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is you. And the only person that benefits from their good deeds is you. And the only person that is harmed by their bad deeds is you. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it doesn't benefit him or doesn't harm him what we do. The only person that gains or loses or benefits or is harmed is Allah, is you. And that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Man amila salihan fali nafsih, wa man asa'a fa'alayha, thumma ila rabbikum turja'un. Whoever does good, it is for their own benefit. And whoever does evil, it is for their own loss. Then to Allah you will all be returned. I hope that was of benefit, inshallah. يروي الإمام مسلم في صحيحه عن أبي ذر رضي الله عنه عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم فيما روى عن ربه أن الله تبارك وتعالى قال يا عبادي لو أن أولكم وآخركم وإنسكم وجنكم كانوا على أتقى قلب رجل واحد منكم ما زاد ذلك في ملكي شيئا يا عبادي لو أن أولكم وآخركم وإنسكم وجنكم كانوا على أفجر قلب رجل واحد منكم ما نقص ذلك في ملكي شيئا ما نقص ذلك من ملكي شيئا يا عبادي لو أن أولكم وآخركم وإنسكم وجنكم قاموا في صعيد واحد فسألوني فأعطيت كل سائل مسألته ما نقص ذلك مما عندي شيئا إلا كما ينقص المخيط إذا أدخل البحر صدق رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Inshallah, tafsir halaqa with Sheikh Adnan will be right after Sunnah, inshallah. Jazakumullah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.